Greetings, thank you for joining us on this broadcast. Yeah. So, all right, this is a feline transformation into human. Oh, I forgot to put a little, and then the spirit world cleanse channeling. I forgot to put a little separation there, but either way. So, feline transformation into human is like feline beings evolving into felines evolving into human form. It can, of course, you can use that, with canines doing the same thing, fish, and so on, birds, etc. Some people look like bird people already. Some people look like cat people, etc. And how would that look like? Or this always a perspective of it. As we are in strange times, might as well just talk about strange subject matters. And of course, the second part is this spirit world cleansing, basically get the spirit world's point of view. Hopefully, without enough positive energies, it gets some beings that aren't. Not everybody in spirit is positive, apparently. Even if you have positive intentions to kind of do the spirit world, sometimes not so friendly ones come in. Well, they come through a channeling, but they're just not. They got issues there. Let's put it that way. So put energies out there to heal that vibration. Jeez. I mean, if this place is messed up, the spirit world's got to be like this or worse. I want to say it's worse in a lot of ways. No, it's 11:11 right now. At least in my time frame. So, give it a little bit more perspective on this spirit world, what they're going through with all this, and those that are here to make a difference, change the Earth's vibration. Obviously, it's not easy on any level. Especially with friends or family or whatever it might be. Like Jesus, like I remember growing up, I was like, with friends like these, who needs enemies? So I guess you can say, with family like this, who needs enemies? To go take another route on that. So I don't think I'm the only one that's been involved with that. So the beings that here are trying to shut. You gotta be careful who you're around. But you can have family members. Like if you have people around you that have a decent vibration, that aren't getting mentally attacked, so they can attack you. But you can also have family members that can go rogue on you pretty easily. I've had that last week. I've had it in the past too. Where just family. It's like this is family, and they're getting manipulated by unknown forces. So yeah. So I'm not sure we're going to go into that, but we'll see where this goes. So this is going to be kind of a different type of tone from the political jargon. All right, this is I'm talking about comic private sessions. Schedule here. I have a shop. I'm on the 13th, I think 12th or 13th for some people. I'm kind of behind, and my energy is not doing so great for answering questions. So I got to take a break. Should be better soon. Same situation here. You have a webinar. I have a webinar tomorrow. Social network, Rabbit, and behind the scenes. All right, thank you for your support. So this should be different. So just looking at the feline energies of this transforming into human. So that'd be different. And once again, go look at other alien being. Well, we are on an alien planet already, so yeah. All right, blessings. Connect to the feline vibrations and bring in what we can. All right, take care. Blessings. Greetings. We are the felines. We are connected to Lyra and Sirius. Our collective comes from other universes, whereas a feline universe, where everybody is a feline being, where the predominant race is feline and human form, and even in bird form. I don't believe maybe seeing a flying feline. Actually, you have in mythology, but having bird felines is quite exhilarating to see. So the human on your world, well, yes, basically alien beings, even during your Atlantean time, even before that, but during your Atlantean time, obviously your history is not always going to be completely clear. Is there really is it necessary to remember everything? I mean, some of you might get downloads, but you come from so many different realities and dimensions, and there are many truths of your past, not just one. So having a distinctive, right answer, there are many right answers. But what matters is your growth currently, of, at least from a feline perspective, why the felines chose the human form as yours is to go to the next level of existence. Not that we have learned everything as a feline being, because we have feline worlds that are not mentioned often that are in Sirius. Some in Orion, but mostly Sirius, where worlds that are very extremely difficult. Not exactly like yours, but extremely difficult. Where just being a feline is looked down upon. Racism. But on your world, a feline being evolving into human is the next. It can be done genetically, not easily, but genetics can be altered throughout our evolution to become more humanoid looking. It's just a evolution in many different DNA aspects. It is not exactly the easiest to explain of how that occurs, but it's basically how you want to evolve. Where you start your life. Now basically it's like a shape shifting ability that we do have among ourselves, where you begin as a feline being and slowly shift your DNA where you become more humanoid as you are here. It's like with every generation of your existence here, and this can go on for 1,000. It depends on the being. They can go on for 1,000 years. You can live for 1,000 years, evolving slowly into a human form. And then you take the human form, and you might live for another 100 possibly. That doesn't mean it's going to be 1,000 years, but usually it's a 1,000-year process, depending on the being. Realize our 1,000 years is not like yours. Ours is a lot faster. But it's just it's like slowly morphing into another being. As some beings, like a canine can turn into a werewolf, but then they turn back into a human. For this is like you're slowly evolving me. You're leaving the feline altogether and altering your DNA. Now, how this occurs is with certain feline. There's different ways of going about this. Where felines are, just through DNA are just, just as you are, just basically using DNA to change appearances. Where it gets complicated, but in an Anunnaki laboratory, basically, which is kind of messy actually, when you think about it. Our Atlantean laboratory also is pretty messy itself, but basically, yeah, just altering genetics, or eventually you have a human form that you're looking for. Sometimes it evolves as a more hairy type of a Neanderthal being at first, but then eventually evolves into as you are today. Yes, connected to the ape people, the gorilla people. Usually it's the gorilla, not necessarily the monkey, but it all depends. The gorilla has a more potent DNA, stronger DNA structure, but It doesn't really matter. But as a feline, there are feline races that can turn into human instantly, actually. But then there are races where slowly evolve into a humanoid form altogether. It's part of their existence, like it's part of their journey. Now, why is to experience something new? It's just, are they wanting to bring in these human emotions? Of course, we already have emotions as a feline being. We have different perspective. We go through a human perspective, as you have here. Even an era of course, in the past, it wasn't amnesia, but there was a form of amnesia where you forget that you were a feline. But there are generations of felines that do evolve into human, and it's kind of like, as some of you call it, like a born again Christian, where you're like one person in the beginning, and then you turn to somebody totally different. But you cut your hair, you change your lifestyle, you drink less, things like that. Or a feline being, we just change our form. And we do eat differently and live differently and have a different lifestyle. So it's similar to that. Obviously, it's not seen here on your world due to their current climate, but there's still. I mean, like a human can become very like an alcoholic. A lot of them are archon beings, not all of them, but some just want to absorb information and cause difficulties. But then they have their Christ consciousness moment when they change their ways and find Jesus or whatever it might be. So, but for feline beings, we just slowly evolve into your form to understand you better. And sometimes a quick transformation is not necessary. As you slowly evolve, you lose your fur, your paws become. I mean, we have hands like yours, similar, but we have more claws at our fingers, and that begins to evolve also. I mean, it's just an evolution. Now, it's not all feline beings that do this, but there are a certain race that does. That they have the capability doesn't mean they're going to go into that direction. Well, it's one way of being part of a society like yours. It's very religious, you can say, but it's not in a religion as your world would call it. It's, for many, it's just a new generation of existence, as you keep saying. It's a different world altogether. And once you become human, going back to feline isn't always necessary, because the human vibration is like we're needed here. Where many feline worlds have found peace. We've been through our dark sides. We found peace. And so why we evolve into human in your world for particular reasons is to bring that peaceful energy here. Obviously, that's not always the case when we're here. We still have relationship problems here also. And many of us want to have a lot of children here because we're used to it. It is easier as a feline being. Especially those, female felines that just want to have all these children, and just obviously on this world it's not so easy. That's one way to keep the population going. But for us, for a feline to turn into human is a religious experience once again. Now, you don't have to. It doesn't always have, like, a feline being can evolve into human, but it's kind of like we don't just appear here in physical. We do reincarnate here now, of course, as you are, but we evolve into a human form on our worlds and then decide to reincarnate here. Currently. Now we're talking about more of our past, where we evolve from feline to human. And there's other worlds where we do this, but if you want to have an incarnation here, once again, we evolve. And there's canine worlds, but most of it's a feline presence. Canine beings are usually just canine beings, and they don't feel like they have to evolve to human. They can figure it out as they go along. Or felines, they feel like it's just a different energy. Maybe your Atlantean beings are very feline-like. it's just our template is on your planet, and for us is just another side of our existence. Now, a human evolving into feline does exist on other worlds, yes. Once again, you have to have a shape-shifting ability connected to you. It's just another aspect of looking at things. In many view, there is a future Earth that you're working towards where you evolve from human to feline. There are, yes, you can become a feline, evolve into human, and then evolve back into feline. That's what, yeah. And maybe you might even have those memories of doing so. Once again, it's being a part of this human generation. Going through, amnesia, learning more about yourself. You don't always know what you're getting into. And that's the point. Because you're evolving into a human form, it's kind of scary, but also exciting at the same time. A lot of your reptilians, you can say, do this. You can say all species do it in their own form, yes. But many of you, I believe, will have some kind of memories of this, especially in your ancient times, where there's many different beings, canine beings, and eventually they realized, in your ancient times, once again, there are canine-looking humans, feline-looking humans, bird humans, and so on. And they had to evolve as a human. As that became more part of the process, what was going to be a part of this world, basically. It was decided the human was going to be the prominent species here for growth on many levels. So the feline beings, canines, eventually evolved to where you are today. Now, there was already humans here, obviously, during that time. Different versions of them eventually became, and a lot of them died out. Obviously, the history is not kept for various reasons. It's not necessary. It would be more like a download than it would be finding artifacts. We don't feel it's not necessary to find relics of a feline. Of course, you see it through Egypt and other places. Usually it was, there's countless feline beings that evolved into human. Normally it was the lion as the one that was involved with its transition. One of the early transitions into human. Just, you see it that in some of your elderly, you see like a lion presence or a feline presence there. It's knowledge from the cosmos. This is it's more out there than you might realize. This is very common. It's just not seen here in the physical. So, yeah, obviously the history of your calendar isn't 100% correct, as that's been moved around a lot. A lot of things have been forgotten, but there have been beings here, even currently, but mostly in the past, where humans look very animal-like in their appearance. They were still humanoid, but they still look cat-like. Not that they have cat eyes, but they just look, like an animal being. As you're slowly going back into that evolution, also to change the color of your skin too when the time is right. You still have some time for that. Where you can have blue people, pink people. Obviously, people are not ready for that just yet. That's going to be a little bit strange, but you're going into that translucent reality. So we just want to send you energies from our collective to yours. The whole idea, the reason why we're mentioning this, to help you with your origins, what you come from, wherever it might be. There's so many different species of being. Not all the answers are here, of course, but that is what you're discovering at this time. Greetings to you. We are council and spirit guides, spirit beings. Yes, we are sending you positive vibrations. Our world, yes, is going through a lot of its soul growth as yours. But yes, we see things more clearly than you do, but we don't always understand it. We see the future easily, but we give the future to you. We give you timelines. We tell you how things are. But humans here change it. No, we don't. I don't want it to be that way. I want it to be different. But yes, but this is already agreed upon. But people still don't agree. This is why it's hard to see the future. Not everybody's agreeing, as you can see. As you see, nothing is always what it seems to be. You can argue with the spirit world. We hear it all. We argue within ourselves, not like you do. But we do. What is brought to the world is what is necessary for overall growth and safety of humanity. Whereas many are not here to stay here forever. Many souls are across. From our perspective, those that are crossing over, we know it's hard in a human form to accept that, but for us, those spirit beings are needed in the spirit realms. As you know, you have a certain time here. When that comes to an end, it's time to shift over back to home. Many call this home, and we understand, but getting that vibration of humans for you to understand the spirit world, as for this place is only for a certain amount of time, and then to let go when you're ready to leave would make things easier, but many are having obviously difficult. Well, this is their home and their physical home. Many are very obsessed with the physical, so yes, it makes them harder to leave. You wonder why so many souls get in this reincarnation cycle, as you're calling it, where they can't leave the earth. You know what really comes down to? Are they trapped? Depends. Many of them are obsessed over the physical form. They don't want to let go of it, so they come back. Now, there are many that actually have a mission. I mean, you all have missions, but some just like the physical form. It's like, I don't care what lifetime I have. I just want to be physical again. I'll let that sit for a little bit. So humans like to make it out like reincarnating is like some kind of trap, and kind of is, kind of isn't. It is up to the individual. Some of you find it's the most horrible thing in the world. We understand. But a lot of these souls, once again, when they eat candy, when they find the candy, they don't want to let it go. And the candy here is the physical. Yes, you don't get it like anywhere else. It's just not the same. No matter the difficulties here, the wars here, the plagues. Well, all the wars and plagues is just to get you off this planet. That's all it's there. From our perspective, it's just here to get you out of here and eventually moving on to other things and let other beings incarnate here. But many are just like, no, I'm going to stay here forever. And we've been dealing with that. And many see death as a negative, and we understand it's a lot of emotional attachments, but also is necessary for evolution, for new souls to learn what you have learned. In this world is the gold standard of learning lessons. Yes, a hell planet, but also one that really heightens the vibration of a soul. You might not see it as a higher vibrational world, but actually it is. Due to all what you're going through, you have so much compact in one life of what you learn. When you go into spirit, you really see the higher vibrations that come out of it. Now, some might have a lower vibration energy, depending on what they choose. Well, some want to become, yes, more of a demonic energy. They can't let go of their darkness. They don't know how. Well, once again, they want to be connected to the physical. It's another side of it. A lot of them are teachers too. A lot of the demonic war realms are from Saturn. To give you another perspective. Now, why Saturn? It's just Saturn. Some Saturn beings feel like they know everything, and yeah, it explains your demonic realms. But we learn from everything, of course. But yes, they're mostly the hard-headed ones. But to keep your soul from a lot of taboos would be nice to heal, such as death. As think of it as a rebirth. Obviously, you say that in your world, we're looked back as evil. It's like death should not be the end of anything, but on your world, it's seen that way. Well, because so many are shut off spiritually, as you know, you've run into many, because they shut that door away in their minds that doesn't exist. So, and they allow more of that consciousness to open. Now it's up to the individual. Individuals shut that door themselves. It is not. We can't do anything about that. That's why many of you are here. But many are just so stuck in their old ways, and they put it to their children, their children's children, and just continue that on. Many of those that are actually celebrities on their world, many of them have been trapped here for a long time. So when they put out that thinking, it just keeps society trapped here forever. Many of you come from the alien vibrations to make sure not part of that energy field. But even that has its consequences. Well, because you have an alien connection, now you remember your alien lifetime. Now you want your spaceships here and your alien people here. And the delivery has not been delivered just yet. Well, that has to do, with the Earth. Well, because the Earth's energy is so filled with fear. It's hard to be an alien energy because you can bring your aliens into the lower vibrations also, which they would just love that, which has happened. That's what happened to some of your grays. The grays just got captured. A lot of your alien beings have been captured by the darkness of your Earth. It's like a soul-catching planet. Once again, when we say, like when a soul is ready to cross over, give it celebration. It's okay to leave the world. It's all right. Your soul lives forever. Just that little talk is heresy on this world. Cemeteries need to be healed. You don't need cemeteries anymore, but you have a long ways to go. So why are aliens have not showed up in the physical? Because they don't want to turn it into what you're going through today. They can lose their vibration very easily by human impressions. Just the vibration here. It's just, once again, many are set in their old ways, which is fine. But once again, they want to be professional and successful here, but also physical. So it makes it difficult for the spirit world to come in when you're focused on your. You'd be surprised how many here love being physical. They just love it. They want their aliens, but they want their cake and eat it too. As Earth becomes more physical, non-physical, opening up to that, not just spiritually aware, like through religions, but more than that, more aware that there's just a spirit world altogether, without all of these trappings, without the fear, the spiritual world without fear. That's when your aliens start to appear. That's when your fourth dimension truly opens up. People feel like you're going into the fifth dimension. You're still working through the fourth dimension. I know many say they're in the fifth dimension, and technically they are. Some are in 13, 14. But your Earth is still going through third dimensional issues due to the mentality of what's here. Like I said, if death wasn't so frightening for people, and you feel nothing but love, and just heal the fear. When it's time to leave, you just leave, and it's fine. It's okay. You're not leaving anyone. You're still there. You just don't have a body anymore. That's all. You can still connect with me. I'm still here. It's not my spirit just vaporizes. No, it actually gets stronger. And once that is understood by society, that's when you have your new world. But many have such a fear of the unknown. Yeah, fear of channeling, which is another fear within the. I mean, there's nothing to fear at all. Once again, it comes down to the physical. So many love this physical body. They made it professional. They have their hair nice. They have all of these things nice. Everybody looks pretty. It's like, that's great. But when it's time to leave, they don't want to leave. It's like, you can look all dashing all you want, but when the exit time comes up, you put us on call waiting. You just say, no, not now. And then 10 years go by, and you should have left 10 years ago. So some say they're spiritual, and that's true, but many of them are still holding on. Even teachers are holding on to this reality. I mean, obviously you have a mission here, and that's understood. But when your mission's over, they still hang in here. Hang on. I mean, if there's others holding you here and you're still helping those evolve, that's understood. But when your mission's over and you're just enjoying because you just love being human in the physical. So healing that vibration is extremely difficult. So is that trickster energies doing? Yes and no. It's mostly the human just doesn't want to let go of being human here. It really is where it comes down to. They put this whole religion just on being physical here. All the rules of death is scary. If you heal that vibration, you will not attract it. Yes, leaving the earth should be very simple. But humans made it so hard. It's like, it's too much of a good thing, you can say. And that's the physical realm. That's why you haven't had your disclosures yet. You're working towards it, but many sabotage it. So, okay, you're going to have disclosure in the 1950s, but inhuman they sabotage it. Not everybody, but enough do. Those that can make the choices. Yes, some get power hungry here. I mean, really, in spirit, yes, we see it all. Maybe too much. But we see the opportunities of where you can go, but many choose not to have those opportunities. It's like we can give wealth for everyone on your planet, technically. Even in a way where humans aren't really spoiled either. Where humans can actually live here together in a harmony where everything's balanced out. It's not taking the wealth and giving it to everyone. It's just abundance in a moderate way. It's a little bit hard to describe it here, but as many get scared, it's like, oh, what about my mansions and all of that? I'm not going to take that away. That's where it gets complicated here. But the idea is to heal those that are going through starvation and poor, because realize that vibration changes the Earth's frequency. And the gang energy here, which is very reptilian. Well, a lot of the gangs just want identity. They just want somebody to love them. They feel like mom and dad wasn't enough, friends aren't enough. They want it. They want to make a name for themselves, and they have all these interesting names. Even the Ku Klux Klan have an interesting name to themselves, and they need somebody to care about them too. All these gangs need. They like fancy like movie titles. Yeah, it's all about love. They all just want someone to care about them. Really what it comes down to. They feel misunderstood. Nobody understands them. And so when they leave the world, finally, it's like, I was known as the leader of whatever you call it, M16 gang, wherever they're calling themselves these days. Yeah, and sometimes the darker, the better. The darker the gang, the better, because then you become more notoriety. More people are writing stories about you, that type of thing. Yeah, it becomes fame. It's like, if I can't get love at home, I'll get the rest of the world to love me or fear me, whatever it might be. Notoriety. So yes, the world gets quite complicated, doesn't it? So nothing about channeling. Some people are not wanting to hear it. Oh, some that are into spiritual awakenings, which as they say they are, um, don't like what they're hearing because they don't. Once again, it's the human journey. You're taking them out of their fantasy that they created for themselves. So if you channel a being, it's like, you know what, you don't have to do this anymore. You can just relax and, you know. Some of the channeled energies can tell you maybe too much about the person. So of course they're not going to want to hear channeling energies. They would continue on the journey that they created from their success and whatever. It's a little bit complicated. We'll just kind of give you pieces of what we're getting at here without going into too much detail. But those that are like popular in the spiritual community, let's put it this way, that have a huge following, that's persona. They don't want to lose that. It's their character they developed. And they themselves don't tell you everything that's going on or block out because, you know, this is the celebrity that they found and they don't want to lose it. And some of them stay here for a long time. They don't leave the earth. They come back. They say they're not coming back, but then sure enough, they're back here through reincarnation. So it's up to the human to decide where you go when you leave. If you have a lot of fear, heal that vibration, please. It's okay to have a little bit of fear. It's quite understood. But yeah, when a Grim Reaper shows up, actually a Grim Reaper can bring you right into the spirit realm just like that. Very quickly. It's not. It just opens up a doorway and then you leave. You can have conversations with Grim Reaper, but yes, the Grim Reaper is basically opening up portals. It's not there to scare you. It might be scary. What? Because it's opening up a doorway for you to leave the earth. Now, you leave the earth and then some do get, well, wait a minute, I don't know if I want to go. And then you can get trapped. Some souls do get trapped here. Some souls go into spirit, but leave their essence here because they don't want to leave. Once again, I want to be human forever. And they are. Well, once again, many of them like their hair and their clothing and all of that, and they want to keep it here forever. A lot of celebrities or ghosts still here. They just don't want to, you know, have what. Yeah, it's a lot of details with that. Now, others have been through tragic situations. Yes, there's the ones that are very hard to, because sometimes when they go through a murder, like they get murdered. Yes, they can get trapped here very easily because they kind of relive it sometimes, depending on what happens. And that's those are very difficult to remove, to bring into spirit. Just that's where you have your archangels come in to help that soul because they get tricked into staying here, which lowers the verse vibration. And because so many are afraid to leave here, and they don't believe in ghost energies, it's difficult for them to leave. If more were aware of it, and there are more people, I mean, there's always been spiritual people here aware of it, but they can't be everywhere. So it's just you're getting to know more of your world here. So our message to your planet, yes, the spirit world is not an easy place. Humanity here shows our flaws as spirit beings, but that's why we incarnate here to make ourselves better. But sometimes we have to incarnate here to be a horrible parent, to become a good parent. It's like, I have all these flaws. Should I incarnate and share everybody? Yes, do. Please do. Of course, many of you regret it later. Actually, all of you regret it. But it's once again, I mean, those of you who have difficult parents or children, yeah, you're there to heal. You're there to heal that difficulty, as hard as it is. So many are very hard hit. Well, because when they were difficult in other worlds, everything worked out for them. But it can't. Eventually they have to change their ways. Well, it's again break a cycle. It's not easy to break. When everything goes your way on another world, even if you're difficult or whatever it might be, it's difficult to change and try something new. That's what this world's so good at is just changing a soul's vibration to shift you to a different. It's just faster. It gets more complicated, but once again, our message for obviously we don't know how well this is going to hit the universe here, your planets. Because once again, when we talk about death, many just get very afraid, very instantly. It's like leaving here is just, yes, like walking through a door. You're here one day, second later, you're somewhere else. It's very simple. But so many here have so much trouble believing in the spirit world that they're afraid of death, and that's when souls get trapped here. Doesn't mean they're reincarnating. It's just many are just their ghosts, their essence is trapped here, where they have like a part of themselves still here. So, but you're going to that process of releasing that. More of your world will know about the spirit realms, of course. It's inevitable. They're learning now, but there's so much more to learn. There's only so far one wants to go. So, once again, many become aware of the spiritual understanding, spirit guides, aliens, but also fixing their hair, making themselves all beautiful, which is fine. But once again, when it's time to go, they don't go. They stay here. So, I think my time is... No, I have plenty of time here, and they're 80 or 90, and they could have left at 60 or 50 for that matter. So obviously many of you are ready to go probably now, but some of you, your time hasn't even started yet. Because, yes, the world is very slow. It's like, I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to connect to aliens. I'm ready for all this, but the world is very, very slow. As you can see. The fear is part of it. It's not all of it, but that's a big part of it. It's this whole thing about being physical here. It's like the aliens show up. Does that mean we can't be physical anymore? Well, yes and no. Yes. We become less physical. And many have a problem with that. I mean, you're still physical, but your body can easily leave your body without a problem. I mean, literally leave it. I mean, just snap out of it. Just maybe you've had out of body experiences, but really when you can just, because that's the whole idea. You're going to come to a time where when your time is to leave, you just leave just like that. And now you can have that now, but obviously many don't do that. But when the alien beings start to help you remember how easy it is to leave the earth when your time is up. Also realize other realities that you're connected to and make it easier. Help you remember the spirit realms, because right now many don't remember for obvious reasons. So one of these, the beings here that are causing difficulties, yes, some are reptilian. There's many beings. They want you to focus, on the physical, for better or for worse. And they're part of the manipulation there, yes. To keep you here, to make it difficult. They just want to make it difficult for people to come in and out. But their time is coming to an end. Well, not instantly, but it is. Patience is key.